Now that many of us are wearing face masks in public, a lot of you have been writing to us asking for more specifics.
Yeah, if we're going to go to the lengths of trying to do our best here, we want to make sure we're doing it right. So how do you make one? How often should you wash it? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? You really found a lot of good information last night, Heather, to try to help people out here. Because I think I've seen a good number of people wearing the mask, which I think is encouraging, right?
I did, and I thought, oh, I can't learn any more about face masks. But I ended up talking with a woman, a professor over at MIT, and she's on a task force there to try and figure out how to best decontaminate the N95 medical masks, the ones that we hear about in the hospitals, because they're having to reuse them. So in her research, she's also looked at those other sort of surgical masks and the cloth masks that a lot of us have here. And she came up with some really good facts and really interesting research there.
All right, let's talk about, well, first of all, we know that the medical masks are the best, right?
Right, they're better. The N95 masks, of course, are the best. But then even the surgical masks, yeah, they work better than these cloth masks.
And is that why at first, when they were telling us, don't bother, the masks don't do any good, it's a little confusing, I think, to those of us who are like, all right, first they were saying that they don't do anything, and now they're saying everybody wear a mask.
Right, and it is confusing because the guidance has changed, and just in the past couple of weeks, the CDC has now said, hey, go ahead and wear a mask when you're out in public. But the thing about the masks is the masks really prevent the droplets that you have from getting out into the air. And because there may be a large group of people that have COVID-19 without showing any symptoms that could be spreading this, they're saying, even if you're not sick, still go ahead and wear one of these masks.
All right. So the first thing about these cloth masks is they're washable.
Right.
So how often should I be washing this thing?
So I talked with a couple of experts on this one because the guidance was sort of all over the place, and all the CDC really tells you is do it routinely. But one of the experts said, look, anytime you go out and put one of these masks on and you're around other people are close to you, their droplets could have gotten towards you, go ahead and just throw it in the wash. What is the harm? What is the hurt? It actually will be helpful. And we know that soap, we've talked about this in the past, can really easily kill this coronavirus.
You also had some guidance on the right way to take it off that I thought was pretty interesting.
Exactly. So this is my mask here, and I'm not around anybody right now, so I'm touching it in this way. But basically, you want to put it on around the straps here, okay?
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that it is pinched up here at your nose, and it's down here by your chin, okay? You don't really want to touch the mask. You don't want to pull it down. You don't want to take it off to talk to somebody. And then when you take it off, make sure you're not touching it again. Make sure you're using these straps here. Like this, and wash your hands before and after.
So I don't want people to get stressed out by this stuff.
No, not at all. No.
First of all, no one really knows, right? This is all like, okay, here are the absolute best practices.
Right.
If you want to be the absolute most cautious you can be, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do want to do that.
Sure, for sure.
So we a lot of times what we might see, I just want to talk to you about some of the things not to do. These are the not to do's. Right. So this is where you have it up here, and maybe you just kind of pull it down to talk with somebody. That's when the droplets come down when you're talking.
You've ruined it now.
Right, exactly. Okay, so don't also put it here. Make sure your nose is in there. I've seen this a bunch of times where the nose is kind of sticking out.
Isn't that better than nothing, covering the mouth? Marginally?
Probably. I mean, but you're also, who knows? Who knows? And then the other one, I got to take a phone call here. Let me just take it off on the side. And so,
why are people wearing their mask in their car? That's the one thing I've seen all the time that cracks me up. People driving around, you're like, what is happening?
We're just trying to give people just a little extra.
Abundance of caution.
Yes.
Yeah, people are doing their laundry in the car. Everybody's, we're doing our best. We're doing our best.
All right. We sure are.
Good stuff.